she's dead. Pretty dead. Too dead to drive anyway. So we are gonna retire it, which is sad because I've had it for 5 years. I've done 60,000 miles. It has been to many places and it has honestly been a very, very good daily. Probably my favorite daily I've ever had, but it just has a few too many issues now and I just don't want to drive it. So I've bought a new car and this thing is gonna go to scrap heaven. The problems with this, DSG box is gone, or it's going. So every now and again you'll go into reverse and it just won't go into reverse.
Reverse?
So I've been stuck in car parks. I've been stuck with cars up my ass and it's really embarrassing because they don't know you haven't got reverse. They just think you can't drive. I've had it once or twice where it won't go into forward gears as well. So I'm kind of on edge about it. I'm just waiting for the day that I'll do a long journey and I'll be stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's also got no heaters because the heater matrix behind the dash is broken and I'm not taking the dash out because it's a VW and it's a lot of dash to remove really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So driving in the winter with no heaters sucks. Then another problem is up here, these are the xenon headlights. These things have like level sensors, like headlight level sensors. So it can sense when you've got load. We put coilovers on, so we sort of had to trick the level sensors because they kept snapping. Long story short, these are aimed at the sky constantly. So the headlights are just blinding people all the time. So you drive at night and people are just flashing you. In the dark, it's impossible to drive. It's freezing cold, gears don't work. I could fix it all, but then I'm still stuck with a 230,000 mile car. Who's to say more won't pop up? Anyway, I don't really need to justify this. I bought a new car and I'm gonna show you in a minute. This is going to the scrapyard and we're gonna strip it for parts.
So with those problems and the super high mileage this car is on, it's actually worth not a lot. The parts that we have on it, like the body kit, the wheels, that's all worth more than the car is worth. And I don't want to deal with some stinkers on Facebook Marketplace. So this is the choice I've made. Breaking it for parts. Let's get it gone.
Piece of shit! It's as if the actuator just goes nah.
And turn it on.
Yeah, now it does.
Oh, don't. Oh, don't.
Right, first thing we're gonna do is the full R-line kit, because this is rare and hard to get hold of. So we're gonna sell that. Front bumper, side skirts, rear bumper.
Since this, since you got this, daily wise, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 dailies. Ugh, bolts. I'll do 300k, I promise. I'll take you boys on long road trips, I promise. I will. I'll put a on.
Do you reckon he's getting cold feet?
He is, for sure.
Front bumper is all of these little Torx things under here.
Yeah.
We've got to do all of these.
And I'll tell you all the Oh,
no,
off.
it's off.
Wires.
Sweet.
Front bumper.
Ow. And there's one up here.
The people on the B6 Passat groups are frothing for this kit. Every time I post it, they're like, where'd you get it from? Where'd you get it from?
Someone's gonna be
Whoever gets this kit is a lucky man, I'll tell you that. Rare loot.
silver R-line.
Reflex silver R-line kit.
Worst. There's nothing even holding you in. Oh.
Headlight.
You know.
Get out. Headlight's done.
That's the best thing about doing this though, we're getting a spare battery.
Money. It looks like a Golf now, doesn't it?
Mm.
Looks so sad.
Yeah, it does.
I remember putting this in, it feels like the other day.
You got the manual for the torque spec on these? Actually, get the Dugga Dugga gun out.
It's 180 I heard, wasn't it?
310.
It'd be in the f***ing engine bay.
Where's your radio gone now? I Dugga Dugga it straight through the bonnet.
Good stuff.
Lovely.
Silly little Willy.
Sorry, car.
Walking into a cube shell.
I know, but it's like disrespecting the last memory of it, isn't it?
I pulled on you a bit hard.
It's like pissing on someone's grave a bit.
He's here.
There it is. Well done.
Fucking that was the best timing.
It was, yeah.
No more excuses now. Goodbye, baby.
So the guy coming to collect the Passat for scrap arrived a little bit sooner than we thought, so we have definitely run out of time, but he's kindly said that we can rob the wheels off it once it's loaded. So all we got to do is get it on, jack it up, and then we'll block it off and take the wheels, and also the battery. And then it will go to its final resting place, a cube of metal.
Looks so sad.
It does, yeah.
All right, the Passat is gone. That chapter is shut. So let me welcome to you my new daily, which is a BMW 5 Series F11 520D M Sport in carbon black. I'll tell you in a bit how good this car is and how much value you get for your money, because this looks like basically a brand new car, but it's insane how much these have depreciated. I'll tell you what I paid for it in a bit, but first I will talk you through my reasoning behind this and why I've done it. So for starters, we have the M Sport package, which was a non-negotiable because the standard versions of these cars look kind of weak, like the SE ones. So I knew I had to get the M Sport, which basically is, you know, front bumpers, side skirts, wheels, rear bumper. You get a bunch of extras on the interior as well. Funnily enough, when I got the Passat originally, about 4 or 5 years ago, I was actually looking at F11 5 Series. The Passat came up for super cheap and it was a bit damaged. So I thought that was a better car at the time. But I've always had my eye on these. Slowly over the course of the few years, I kept seeing F31s, which is the estate version of the 3 Series. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely the one I'm gonna go for. Went to go view a couple. And then there was one guy that had a black 3 Series Touring M Sport and this next to each other, and he was selling both of them. They're very similar specs. As soon as I turned up and I got to see this and the 3 Series next to each other, this was honestly the way better car. But because of its size, and a lot more people want the 3 Series because it looks a bit sportier, the 3 Series are more expensive, even though they're less car. So yeah, I turned up, saw the 5 Series, and I was like, nope, this is definitely the one I want to go for, because some of the stuff it comes with is actually nuts. Honestly, I am so buzzing on this car. I have gone from a Passat, which heaters were broken, and I was freezing my ass off all the time, and I kept blinding people, and it wouldn't go into reverse. So going from that to this, which is the newest car I've ever owned, it's a 2017. Like I said, it's an F11. F10 is the saloon, F11 is the estate. So we've gone for a wagon, because I will always have the Touring, whatever you want to call it. BM's call them Tourings. So yeah, always go for an estate because you don't really lose anything, but you just get so much more space. And I carry stuff all the time, so I had to have an estate. I personally think they look better anyway. It is the 520D, and I know what a lot of you are going to think. Why didn't I buy the 530? And it's kind of really simple. I don't really like driving fast in my dailies. I'm quite a cruiser. Like, as soon as I sort of get on the road, I'm pretty chill. I like driving fast in my other cars, and I like my other cars to feel fast. And honestly, if I got a 530D, I know I'd map it, and then it would be the fastest car I own. And then when I got into the E36, it would feel slow. And also slightly worse MPG, and it's more expensive to buy, more expensive to tax, more expensive to run in general. So yeah, 520 was the obvious choice. I'm super chill about it, I don't really mind. This is the LCI version. So BMW call facelifts LCIs. Can't remember what it stands for, but this is the post LCI, which means it got a bunch of updates. The front end's a bit more modernized. It's got the new headlights, and it also got the new engine. These things, the 2-litre diesels, were notorious for timing chain things. Not really notorious, but like they had issues with timing chains. That was the N47, which is a 2-litre diesel engine. They now upgraded it to a B47, which don't have as many issues. So this is the 188 brake version. So we'll call it 190 brake. Running costs at the moment, I've figured, are a bit shitter than the Passat. We're averaging like 40 mpg, but I don't mind because it looks great and it drives insane. The way I see this car is kind of like how iPhones are, which is like, they kind of dialed them in years ago, and every single release now is just like incremental small changes that make them a little bit better. So at this point with the F11, I think they are already insane cars. And this to me is perfect. So starting from the front, we have insane headlights. I'll show you with the key. So we've got the Angel Eye headlights, super bright, unreal in the dark. We also have, like up here, I don't know if you can see this, but in there, those are flaps, and they open and close. And it's basically designed, I think, to block the radiator so that when you start the car in the cold, no cold air is getting to the radiator, which means the car warms up quicker, which means you get hot air in your heaters quicker, which, coming from a guy who hasn't had heaters for a year, it's really cool. Really simple stuff, but washer wipers, wiper washers, headlight washer jets. So when you put your headlight, what am I saying? Windscreen, that's a windscreen. When you put your windscreen wipers on and you do the washer jets, these wash your headlights. We've got chrome kidney grills, which is rare because a lot of these come with black these days. Moving up, we have the 19-inch M Sport wheels, which are arguably the worst conditioned part of this whole car. It's been curbed on every single wheel. I don't really understand why people can't drive. How do you manage to curb 4 wheels? This thing came with really good tires. We've got Goodyear What have we got? Goodyear Excellence. We've got 245 40 19s. All tyres are in good condition. This thing just went through an MOT, no advisories, and the MOT history for it all, it's never had a single advisory in its life. This was a fleet car, so it was owned by a company on finance, and 130,000 miles, but they're all motorway miles, so it's been super looked after. It's got full BMW service history, clean MOT record, and yeah, it's just mint. Small things that I like. Ready for this? If you lock the car and press the button and hold it, look at the mirrors. My Jag didn't do that. This does. I know it's quite simple. I think the Cupra does that. Anyway, it's just a nice feature. The other thing it has is, on the key, press and hold, electric opening boot. And also, back here, it's just like small stuff like this. It's got an electric parcel shelf. So when you shut the boot, the parcel shelf closes. When you open the boot, it opens. So you've got a button to close it there, but also, this is the thing that the Jag could never do, and it was really annoying. You can press and hold this, and it will shut it from a distance, which is cool. The other thing, which I didn't discover for a while, is that thing there is a button, and this is a split tailgate, which is insane. It doesn't sound that handy, but you do that, and you can get into the boot and just grab something quick without having to open the whole big boy version. Also, keep an eye on the parcel shelf. You might not be able to see it, but if I shut this, electric parcel shelf. Also, that rear tailgate is on the button as well. Press and hold, and it opens. Not electrically, annoyingly, but it still opens for you. Another cool thing, if I shut this, I'll open the boot, you can tap it as well. As you can tell, I'm super excited. This is all like the nerdy little stuff, which I love. Look at this. The spare wheel holder, whatever, is on gas struts. There's nothing under there, but it's on a gas strut. Luxury. Another thing is just the size of this boot is mental. Absolutely massive. And then back here, you just put a lever like that. Seats go down, and then you have something crazy like 1,600 litres of storage space, which crazy. I put a Christmas tree in the other day and it just didn't even think twice about it. I'm out of breath because I'm so excited talking about this car. I'm not going to go crazy because it's just a daily, but this is going to be a small mini build series. We're going to do 3 episodes on this that I can think of already. So yeah, got a few little scratches there, which I've only just noticed. But other than that, the bodywork is great. It definitely needs a polish. You can't really see on that one, but down the side here, there's loads of tree marks. So we'll give that a good polish. I'll show you that at some point. A few other little bad bits is like stone chips, big stone chip. I mean, you can actually kind of see them from far away, which is annoying. But other than that, this thing is pretty fresh. Also, another reason I went for this one is it is like mega high spec for one of these. It's got the adaptive suspension, which I'll talk about in a minute when we go into the interior. It's got 600 watt Harman Kardon speakers. It's got the big LED sat-nav screen, which is the extended, upgraded one. And it's got a sat-nav package. It's got 360 cameras and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, super high spec, and it's just lovely. I love it. Another really nice thing about it, the doors, even though they're super heavy, because they've got loads going on, they feel really light to close. Really nice things. Inside, I've got it really mucky, so ignore that. Just like your basics, like we've got electric mirrors, electric everything, electric seats for like tilt and up and down and back, but they're still cheaped out and it's still manual to move it forward, but I don't actually hate that. It's not the worst thing in the world. Seats are lovely, super comfy. We have the M Sport steering wheel with flap paddle, which is sick. Here we've got speed limiter, which is super handy. And cruise control. These flappy paddles feel so dialed. In the Jag, I'm gonna keep talking about the Jag because it's a very similar spec car, very similar color, you know, it's just super similar. That was a £42,000 car. This thing, yes, it's done 130K, but the condition is mint, and I paid £8,000 for this, which is crazy because this was a 45 something odd grand car probably when it came out. So in 7 years, this thing is depreciated almost like 40 grand. But back to the point, the Jag had flappy paddles and they were like super plastic and gross, whereas these are still plastic, but they feel super thick and nice. This has the ZHP, AHP, whatever it's called, gearbox, which is at this point the best gearbox automatic one that anyone makes, I reckon. It's 8-speed auto, but if you whack it over to the side, it goes into manual and sport mode, and then you can go on the flappy paddles. It's keyless entry, so just foot on the brake, press and hold to start. So if I shut this, look at that. That is the 600 watt Harman Kardon speakers. It has a speaker there, one there, massive door speakers. It's got subs underneath here at the back. Extended screen, so it's much bigger, but we're gonna install CarPlay at some point. We have dual climate control with AC, obviously. We've got heated seats, which is a non-negotiable for me at this point. This is cup holders and a cigarette lighter. Also a nice thing because they just gave you a place to put your keys. This is the adaptive suspension. So if we go up to sport, we go into sport mode and it stiffens all the dampening. It goes into sport on the dash. I'm not just saying this, you can genuinely tell as soon as you put it in sport, you can feel it when you're driving. It goes like rigid and it just kind of like, it up revs. You can tell it's like holding onto gears a bit longer, and it's actually super fun to drive. I thought this was quite sluggish at first because I just kept it in comfort. Let's say we're in normal drive mode, which is this. If you want to just rag it, you got that 1, 2, downshift, and then you are in full sport mode, and it feels insane, which I'll show you in a minute. We've got this button here, so we've got cameras, which has the front bumper cams. This is another high spec package thing, but in here, that is a camera. That is your front left and right. And if I go past this bollard here, you can see it's showing you what is past there. But at the moment I can't see it, but the camera can. A bit gimmicky, but you know, it's useful when it's useful. We've got a reverse camera there. Move the steering wheel and it will tell you where the lines are going. And then if we're driving away, we can also press another park button. We have the 360 cam. So we've got the iDrive system here, which is really nice to use. This thing's also a touchpad. So you can like draw and write addresses or like postcodes. So you could just be like that and it'll recognize it on there. In here, we got a little thing like that. I keep my little lip balm. And then in there is like a double opening armrest where I've got some stuff. It's got all the usual stuff like auto wipers, auto lights. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control, but I don't mind that. It doesn't have lane assist, so it doesn't try and steer you out or into lanes, which is really nice because I hate that. You can see there the flaps have opened and we've got the silver bars behind there, which a lot of people paint, and I'm not going to because that's lame. In the back seats here, we have this, which folds out. You've got a little tray in there, and then I think, hey, cup holders. And then you've got your vents for people if they want to mess around. You've also got 12 volt down there. The other thing about 5 Series is the amount of legroom in the back. It's definitely a big car. Driving this compared to the Passat, this thing is wider, it's taller and it's longer. Not by like a huge amount, but enough where you notice it. And when you're driving in tight roads, it's kind of like, you have to really pay attention. But the benefit of that is in the back seats, you've got loads of room. So you can easily fit 4 blokes in this car and no one's like cramped, if you know what I mean. It's everything I want. The only thing it doesn't have, which I would love, is a heated steering wheel, but that is really first world problems. I can happily say that this is the comfiest car I've ever been in. In terms of like, just being a nice place to be, it's super quiet. The road noise is like minimal because it's so chunky and there's probably loads of sound deadening. But yeah, it's just like, it almost threw me off to start with because if you make tiny movements in the steering wheel, it actually does something. And I think it's because like the front end's obviously either super responsive or I'm used to the Passat, which wasn't. It was never bad, but like this is crazy. It's like you literally, this is in comfort mode as well. So the steering is a little bit, I don't know, it might not be as sensitive, but if we put it in sport mode, whack it over and go into like flappy paddle, it's literally just like, like you can throw it into a corner and it's literally just like, it responds so well. It's nuts. I'm just gonna loop a roundabout right now. But yeah, the grip is nuts. Like I actually have more trust in this than I do in my other cars. And it's just, yeah. Steering, super accurate. Sport mode is actually pretty nippy. And yeah, literally back into manual, back into comfort, and then you're in a nice, comfortable daily cruiser again. They say that BMWs are like the driver's car, and I kind of get it. I mean, I've got old BMWs, so they're not quite the same, but this just feels dialed. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's just a very dialed car. So, there it is. The new daily, which I absolutely love. I'm actually really excited to start doing some bits to it. But for now, I just wanted to intro you to the car. We've swapped the Passat 405 series, and yeah, I think it's a necessary upgrade. The Passat was super high spec as well, but this is just different level. This is basically the Jag, but it's a BM, so it drives better. Is it as cool? I don't know, but with a few little tasteful mods, this thing's gonna look pretty mean. And it does 40 mpg. It costs 160 a year to tax. Flies through MOTs. And yeah, 8 grand for so much car. Like, ridiculous. And if I keep this serviced and keep it looked after, it'll do, you know, 250,000, 300,000. I've seen a couple on the groups that are near that, so I'm not worried. We're still waiting on some bits for the Hilux, so next video we're gonna do some mods on this. And tomorrow morning, I have a remap booked in, and we're gonna go from there. Leave us a comment down below, let me know what you think of the car, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, goodbye.